Morning, YouTubers. It's 4th of July, 2019, and I wanted to go over a little bit of alcoholism. I saw some videos, and you get some people who quit, and then they wind up relapsing. I got September 27th, 29 years. It's around the corner, and my story. I started out young. Not too young, 18, 19, around there. It was real short though. By the time I was even 25, I already had picked up the 3 DUIs a week apart. So I wound up going to court, and the judge gave me a year with a 2-year joint suspension and a 10-year tail. And I couldn't pick up the 4th, or I'd be serving the 2-year term, and I had to wait the 10 years. So as we're in court, I tell the judge, no matter what you give me, add up your little time and your little fine, because I'm going to do it today. I wasn't really working. I just got laid off. I was really young, working part-time jobs here and there, and most of my time was out drinking and going to clubs. And so I went in, and when I got out, the whole time that I was in there, I was thinking about picking up a 4th one, because back in those days, you were able to get a check for alcoholism. But while I was in there, they stopped that, because there was guys in there with 12 DUIs, and they were getting a check. And I figured, hey, that was easy money, And while I was in there, they stopped it. So then, I got out, and I figured, well, the only way I'm going to beat it is to stay sober. And 5 years went by, and all this time I'm driving with no license because they're suspended, and then another 5 years go by, and I beat the term, which is a 10-year tail. But the only thing is, I didn't go to my DUI class. I was still driving with suspended license. And then it was after 14 years is when I decided to go back to school and get my license. And that whole time, within the 14 years, I had gotten caught 4 times. And my car was impounded. And the first time I went back to court, different judge, he gave me a year. He did bring up my DUI charges and my joint suspension. So I got a year, and then it was like 8 months out of a year. Then the second time I got caught, it was like 8 months. You do like 6. Then after that, it was like, I don't know, 30 days or 2 months or something like that. I can't remember. But the whole thing is that I was going backwards, because I was going to court with other dudes, and they had the same suspended license, because of a DUI. And when I got my year, those guys were getting like 30 days. And even on the second time, I got 8 months. Those guys were only getting 4, 6 months. I was like going backwards, and they were going, uphill, and here I am going downhill. And I was thinking, man, hey, I think they're getting ready to revoke my license, the next time I get caught. And so I'm going to school, and trying to get my license back, and I finally did. And when I did, I got caught again, And when I went to court that last time, the judge, she says, it was the lady judge, she says, you got your 3 times already. This is your 4th time on a suspended license, because she asked me, are you able to get your license? And I said, I'm 30 days away from getting my license. I got to take the test. She says, all right, come back and show me that you passed the test. So that was a big relief right there, because I think they were getting ready to take my license away. And I go to the DMV, and I take the test and I failed it, and my girl, she's like, "No, you're gonna do it again. You get like 3 times." And so, they didn't even. I think I had missed like 5 or 6, and she said that was a couple too many to even ask me a question, to help me out. So I took the test again, and I passed, and I got my license, that permit, and I went home, and that day I can remember, that night I was sleeping, and I couldn't sleep all night. I couldn't sleep, and I kept thinking that that the DMV was gonna call me and said, "Hey man, we messed up. We gave you a license you're not supposed to have. You had these charges on you and whatnot. So then I'm like tossing and turning, and I couldn't believe it. And the next day, I was still like waiting for that phone call. So then as the week went by, I went back to court and I showed the judge I got my license back, and she squashed the time, and I think I got a little fine, and I was on my way. Well, lo and behold, a month later, I get pulled over for speeding. Just a month later, and I hadn't had my license very long, because as it is, when I went to court, for the first, well, for the DUIs, the judge said, basically, you never had your license since the age of 16 because you've always had them taken away. And I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I got pulled over on a speeding ticket. They're going to take them away again. And I go to court, and I paid the fine, The guy asked me for my license and registration, and my insurance, and that SR22, man. And it felt good. At the same time, I was nervous, because I got pulled over, and I gave him all the information, and he looked, and he gave me a warning. He said, "You really got your license back?" I go, "Yeah." So the officer let me go, gave me a break. I wasn't really driving fast. I mean, I was under the speed limit. I don't know what it was. That had him pull me over. It's been so long ago, I couldn't remember the reasons. And that's what happens when you get when you're sober for so long. Is that time just goes by and by, and you forget a lot of things. So being sober. But they impounded my car 4 times, and they were all like $900. I think one time was like $100. I got lucky. Something to do with being out in the country and in city limits. I don't know. But anyways, I have a whole lot more story to say. I mean, I got a lot of stories. It's just trying to break it down. It's not enough time. But I'm just here just to kind of get my video out there and let people know that being sober has been a blessing for me. I had a short career with alcohol. All I drank was just beer, and everybody, around me, it just seems like there's more people drinking today than ever. Or maybe it's just because I'm awake now. I used to be the one out in the bars, drinking, having a good time. And it was a whole different time, in my 20s. Old school music, baby. And I just wanted to say, hey, what's up? If you guys have any questions, comments, let me know, hit me up. And have a good day.